I'm Pastor Aaron Harrison. This video is all about which is better to invest in, a 401k or a Roth IRA. Before we get into which one is better, what I'd like to do is dive deeper into knowing what is the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA. A 401k is a tax-deferred investment account that is set up by your employer. A 401k and a 403b is very similar. The major difference is 403bs are for nonprofit organizations. An IRA is an individual retirement account that is set up not by a company but by an individual person. There are two main IRA accounts. You have a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. A traditional IRA functions just like a 401k, where you are able to put your money into a tax-deferred investment account. But a Roth IRA acts differently. And what happens with a Roth IRA is that you pay the taxes first, and then later when you retire and take the money out, you do not pay taxes on that income. So then people ask the question, which one is better? Is it better to put my money into a 401k, or is it better to put it in a Roth IRA? The answer to the question is that it depends on your individual circumstance and situation. So let's dive into it. Many organizations offer their employees a match with their 401k. So if you are offered a match with your 401k, meaning that your employer is going to match the money that you put in to a certain amount in your 401k, then you should always take the match, because you immediately double your money when you are getting that match. So any money that has the potential to be matched would be the best investment that you can make. And so once we're not looking at the match, now what we need to look at is the taxes. Is it better for you to be taxed now in the 401k, or is it better for you to be taxed later in the IRA? The answer to the question is, when do you plan on paying more taxes? Do you plan on paying more taxes now, or do you plan on paying more taxes when you retire? But the answer isn't as simple as do you plan on paying more taxes now or later, because you do not have a crystal ball and you do not know what the future holds. So what's interesting to me is that many people swear by the Roth IRA and they say, oh, I'm just going to pay the taxes now so I can get tax deferred money later. And really, my recommendation would be to go ahead and put your money in the 401k. And the reason I recommend the 401k is because you do not know what the future will hold. Yes, you plan on having more money in the future, but it's not guaranteed that you will have more money in the future. So let me use an example and tell you why I believe investing in a 401k is better for most people than investing in a Roth IRA. Let's say you make $100. If you make $100 and you put it into a 401k, then what that means is that whole $100 go into your 401k and it is tax deferred. If you wait 1 year and it grows 10% interest, which is our national average of the S&P 500 index fund, then what will happen is at the end of the year, your $100 with 10% interest will be $110. On the flip side, if you receive $100 from your job and you place it into a Roth IRA, well, that money is taxed when you get it on your paycheck. And if you're taxed at 20%, that means that $100 just dropped down to $80. Then you would invest that $80 into the Roth IRA. And when you invest that $80 in, if it grows at a 10% interest rate, which is the average return, then you will get an $8 return on that $80. So if you're at a tax rate of 20%, then $100 invested into your 401k after a year is $110, and $100 invested into your Roth IRA is $88. This is a difference of $22. Now, the $22 doesn't make a big difference because that Roth IRA is tax-free. So in retirement, if you retire at a 20% effective tax rate, then that $88 in that Roth IRA would be all yours. But then if you look at the 401k, that $110 would need to be taxed at 20%, which would put you back to $88. So there really would not be a difference between the Roth IRA and the 401k. So when determining whether you should invest in your 401k or your Roth IRA, what you have to do is you have to look at, do you believe that your effective tax rate will be higher in the future, or do you believe that it is higher now than it will be in the future? But the main thing that I want you to understand is that many people believe they're going to have a lot in the future when that's not always the case. A lot of people may get tired of their job, they may choose to retire early, and so they don't end up having as much money as they thought they would have in retirement. So I wouldn't want for someone to go with the Roth IRA thinking that they're going to have a ton of money in retirement, then they have a disability or something happens or someone gets sick and they have to stop working and take care of a family member, and then at the end of the day they actually are in a lower tax bracket, or they have a lower effective tax rate when they retire than they had when they were working, but they already paid taxes on that money. So for me, investing in a 401k, I just like having more money in the account, and if it's taxed later, it's taxed later. And some people make the argument that they believe that taxes may go way up in the future, meaning that they just want to go ahead and pay the taxes today in case they're really high in the future so that they don't have to worry about them. And that is a good argument. So overall, whether you're investing in the Roth IRA or the 401k, they are both good investments, and it's good that you are investing in your future. So continue to research and learn about investing so you can determine which investment choice is best for you. So if you learned something from this video, then continue watching and look at my other videos, which are all about investing, retirement, saving, and how you can prepare for your present and your future.